Hi, my name is Alice Wong, and I'm thrilled to be with you all at the Allen Temple Baptist Church Disability Resource Fair. I'd like to thank my friend FredAquila for inviting me today to tell you a little bit about the Disability Visibility Project. At this point in the video, I'm going to switch over to some slides. The Disability Visibility Project is a community partnership with StoryCorps and an online community dedicated to creating, sharing, and amplifying disability, media, and culture. StoryCorps is a national oral history organization that has locations in San Francisco, Atlanta, Chicago, and a mobile tour. I went to one of their events a few years ago, and they mentioned partnerships they have with local communities. I thought it would be really cool to start one that encourages the disability community to tell their stories. So I started a DVP in 2014 as a one-year project to collect some stories in the lead up to the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 2015. Very quickly, the word spread all over, and it seemed like the community wanted this to continue. And now it's a dynamic online community on Facebook and Twitter. I didn't expect this to become my life's work, but it did, and here we are 3 years later. As I mentioned earlier, the purpose of the project is to encourage disabled people to record their oral histories at StoryCorps. One reason I started a DVP is because our stories and histories are unknown, erased, and created by others. There are no guidelines except to center the conversation on disability. StoryCorps provides an option for participants to archive their oral histories at the Library of Congress. It is such an empowering and brilliant way for anyone to create and preserve their own history. As a community partner, the DVP has access to these stories, and they'll all be eventually added on our website. At this point, I'd like to play a short excerpt from one of our oral histories featuring none other than Lateef McLeod with his friend Aquila Lewis. They recorded their story at San Francisco StoryCorps booth on March 5th, 2015.
So you are a performer. We both share that in common. You do spoken word. And have you ever performed outside of California or in the U.S.?
Yes, I performed in New York City with June Jordan's Poetry for the People back when we visited there as a group in 2003. That was the first time I performed outside California. I also did a lecture when I went to the Isaac 2008 conference in Montreal. I may have performed poetry there, I can't remember. I hope to write many novels and poetry books. I also want to reach the highest stage for my spoken word artistry and my motivational speaking. It is an exhilarating experience to have your audience hanging on every word of your poem and really getting the message of what you are saying. Especially since there is a tendency in this society to just ignore the experiences of people with disabilities, especially in the media. For me, it gives me the opportunity to create the alternative narrative of how I see the world and the world I want to build through my writing. What do you want people to remember you by?
I want people to remember that I am someone who really wanted to go back into the past and heal. I'm all about breaking generational cycles and curses that affect, future generations. What do you want people to remember you by?
I want people to remember that I tried to be a good man who wanted to do right by God and everyone. I want people to remember that I tried to be a good man and wanted to do right by God and everyone.
I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. This audio clip was co-produced by Geraldine Asu and me. Currently, the DVP has over 100 oral histories by disabled people from this grassroots project. We're slowly in the process of getting these transcribed and produced so they're accessible as possible. You can find Latif's story and more on the DVP website at disabilityvisibilityproject.com. If you're interested in sharing your story, I hope you'll consider coming to StoryCorps in San Francisco, which is conveniently on the 6th floor of the public library, right by the Civic Center, BART station. There's also an option to use the StoryCorps app anytime, anywhere. Information on how to participate in the DVP is available on our website at the top of the page at disabilityvisibilityproject.com/how-to-participate. If you have any questions, just email me at disabilityvisibilityproject@gmail.com. If you're on Twitter, say hi. I'm at SF Direwolf, DIREWOLF. So that's my story in a nutshell. Thank you for listening and have a great day.